Hot Yoga Vinyasa Tutorials Part 2. We're heading back to Yoga Revive in Marlton, New Jersey. This is our last video that I recorded there. I just recently did a workshop, a Barkan Method workshop last month. So shout out to Paul and Shire for hosting the event, especially to Shire who demonstrated these postures so beautifully. We're going to start where we left off from the last video, the fourth and fifth vinyasa, key postures within those two vinyasas. And I'm proud to say that the fifth vinyasa is world famous, practiced all across the globe, Australia, Iceland, Switzerland, Costa Rica, and of course all across the United States. So let's head over to Yoga Revive and get started. Standing, separate leg, head to knee. A unique posture from our lineage in Calcutta. Why? Angelis, why is it unique? The rounding of the spine is unique to hot yoga, to Vishnu Ghosha's alignment, not down in Mysore. So come on up. Mula Uddiyana is important first, the core, perineum, pit of the belly, and now we add Jalandhara, chin to the chest. All three bandhas engaged. We say Mahabandha or Bandha Trine. I knew you'd like that one. And then exhale, down you go, and touch the forward on the knee. So I want her to bend her knee way up. Now I don't mind if you separate your hands on the floor in front of you as a stability to eventually straighten that leg out. Go ahead, straighten the leg. Once the leg is straight, then you bring the palms together. And you're going to see this left hip goes way back for most people. And you can say you blew in the face, bring your hip forward and draw your hip back, and they won't do it. So the first thing I do is say relax. Touch right here, relax, and just pull it back. That cue of relaxing allows that to happen. Also, we don't want the hands way out here, because now look how she's not rounding her back anymore. We want the hands real close to the foot so that she curls in more. And then straighten the arms. Yes. So bend the knee. A lot of you have to bend the knee. Okay, come up. Let's do the other side so you're even. And now set your hands behind your back. Face that way so they can see it. Everyone can see it, your hands. So reverse namaskar. You can even, you can do an assist teachers, it won't hurt them, it just brings them a little higher. Yeah, right there. Bring it up. If you can't do that, grab your wrists or your elbows, and that's the position of the arms. Okay, now face back here. You're going to lift the chest, but you're not going to arch the lower back. You're going to turn the tailbone down toward the floor. Push up the back foot, and down she goes in a flat back position. Stomach over the thigh. But look how she's not bringing her forward to the knee. Her back and neck are staying nice and lined up. You're going to feel it in your hamstring. Big difference than standing separately head to knee, where you're not going to feel it as much in the hamstring. Eventually, chin touches the shins. Oh, you're almost there. Yeah, there you go. But chin up a little bit more. Yeah, yeah. And chest out more. Good. Okay, come on up. Relax. And that's why I positioned that pose right after that one. So notice, revolving triangle, separately head to knee, side forward bend, all three poses, the legs and the feet are exactly in the same position. That's why I put them there. Face the front. Let's do a hands to feet pose from the front. So you're going to separate your feet apart hip width, slide the hands under the feet so the toes come all the way to the wrist crease. Okay, face back to the side now. You're better off, I want you to bend your knees way up. You're better off bending your knees and having the hands under than having the hands halfway. Do halfway. Now straighten the legs. Then straighten. Because then what you're doing now is just straightening your legs. You're not stretching the legs. We got to stretch the legs. So get the hands under it again. And eventually the legs straighten. And then when that happens, you start bringing your forehead to your shins as the elbows come out. Stomach is not on the thighs here. That's a cue for the back, not the front. Some yoga styles call this gorilla pose, as you can see. And get your forehead to your shins. You're warm up for the next pose. There you go. Now, don't bring your chin to the chest, though. Yeah. Good. Padastasana from the back. I know we already credited it, but there's a lot of people that weren't here this weekend, so let's do it anyway. Fingers come underneath the heels. Arms come behind the calf muscles, almost like you're trying to touch your elbows behind you. You won't be able to, but that's the feeling you want to create. I want you to bend your knees way up. Stomach on the thighs, chest to the knees. A little bit later, face into the shins. As you press your face into the shins, the hips come forward and the legs straighten. Yes? Now, once the legs are straight, we don't do this anymore. This is not the grip that we use. Instead, we're going to cup the heels from the back. Fingers inside, thumbs outside. So bring your hand, the left hand way out and back again, like I was doing the other day. Like way out and in, way out and in. Not that way, this way. So they see the grip. See the grip? That's the grip. If you bring the fingers underneath the heels and you're straightening your legs, you're actually shortening the hamstring. Now, upper body flat. Chest on the knees, face into the shins. And now she's going to look down at her tops of her feet, but her chin still touches the shins, and her shoulders come up to the ceiling as her head goes to her feet. Bishnu Ghosh would call this head to feet pose. Shoulders up, head down, arms more behind you, and the head touches the feet. Okay, come up. Arms out in front. In the advanced class, we would do this pose. We'd have to go right for the heels without bending the knees and without doing any idiosyncratic motion. So go right for the full position. Right for it. Boom. That's the advanced version. No extra movement. As you start getting advanced in your practice, you have to start to eliminate that stuff. Same thing with eagle. Face the front. One motion. Arms, right leg, arm under, right leg over. No extra motion. Opposed to this. And then, exaggerating it, obviously. So we want to, as you start getting advanced in your practice, start to think about eliminating all that extra stuff. Questions? Fifth vinyasa. You're excited for it?
I do like this one.
First set, we're going to bring that right leg up, hips are square, foot is flexed, and we're going to hold here for 2 breaths. Look how nice and square her hips are. Without moving the shoulders, she's going to turn her hip out, point the toe. Keep the leg straight a little bit more. Then 2 breaths. Then she's going to look over her left shoulder, see the foot coming out the other side, bend the knee. The chest lowers down as the knee comes up. Come back. So what's the modification for that? Drop your knee to the ground. Do that. Now, leg up straight, flex the foot, turn it out, look over your shoulder. There's the modification. And then go back again. So let's go 2 breaths up. Let's do the other side this time. 2 breaths up, hold, turn the out, point the toe, hold, don't let the shoulder turn. Bend the knee, look over the right shoulder, hold. Now she comes back to one-legged downward dog. And once again, the modification, if you're not doing it there, would be to drop the right knee to the ground. Come forward, down and up, back 4-legged. If we don't need to modify, come forward in a one-legged plank. Mula Uddiyana, the core engaged. You can get your leg higher than that if you want. Shoulders come forward past the wrist, and down she goes, back up, back downward dog. 4 on the floor, as Janice would say. And then we want to do Peaceful Warriors, so you're nice and relaxed. So let's talk about this for a second. The definition of Hatha Yoga is also misinterpreted. All across the country, in the world actually, if you go to a Hatha Yoga class, and the Bikram people really don't get confused by it, because Bikram always said that his yoga was Hatha Yoga. But if you see Hatha Yoga on a schedule, 9 times out of 10, it's a relaxed, gentle form of asana. It's the exact opposite of what it means. It doesn't mean sun and the moon. It's symbolized by it. The right side, the Pingala, the moon, the Ha, the left side, the Ida, the moon, the Ta. Hatha and the combination and the balance of the two. But the word means forceful. So the reason why Goraksha, here we are going to Goraksha again, not Patanjali, chose the word Hatha or forceful, to forcefully awaken that Kundalini Shakti energy up the spine that lays latent at the lower spine, to shoot it up the center channel we call the Sushumna Nadi. As we do that, we start to help to liberate the soul. We start to bring balance and healing to the body. We create even evolution, which is a whole other subject. So that's why this posture really symbolizes, after that really intense moment we just did in the Vinyasa up to this point, this drops down, the energy shoots up, and I tell people to imagine the energy shooting up the spine to empower you for the second set, to empower you for the rest of the day. Okay, back to tabletop, which is, by the way, a good position for your downward dog wise, as far as your feet and your hands. Let's do the right leg. So right leg comes up. Now we're not holding for 2 breaths. We're going to turn it out right away, point the toe, bend the knee, look over the shoulder, and we're going to flip the dog, keeping the feet hip width apart, knees bent. We're not doing wild thing. The one leg is not straight. The 2 knees are bent. We're lifting the chest. Ikahast, one-handed wheel, chakrasana. From here, the right hand comes down onto the mat for counterpose. Left arm up, right leg through. She can keep the foot on the ground. She can lift the foot off the ground. She can grab the outside of the foot for compass pose as she rotates her upper torso and looks underneath her arm. From compass to full split, or Hanumanasana, from the famous story, the Ramayana, opposed to Ramayana. Then this is where it gets very ungraceful. From here, back one-legged downward dog, nose to the knee, Jananasasana. Back up, hold the core, forward one-legged plank, down chaturanga, back up, down one-legged upward facing dog, don't let the right leg touch, downward facing dog, 4 on the floor. Little applause for Shire. Questions? Trianga. Chatur is 4, tree is 3. Also, some parts of Jersey, tree is 3.
Way up north, Jimmy, it's not your
I got tree. Anyway, where I think the Jersey boys started. Pace yourself. You know, you don't go all out all the time. This is for all the poses. Like we talked again about this whole weekend. When you're doing standing head to knee, it's a 60-second pose. You can't put all your energy in the first 15, 20 seconds. You're going to come out of it all the time. Easy. Take your time. Pace it out so you're peaking at the very end. I told this all weekend. I've been telling you. We used to do this for 2 minutes in the advanced class. Each side, standing head to knee. 2 minutes. How could we do that? We had to relax. We had to understand what area of the body we're strengthening, what area of the body we're relaxing. And having that isolation. Dancers know what I'm talking about with isolation. And you'll build stamina over time. You start doing this class on a regular basis, you know what's next. It's mentally, it becomes a lot easier, and then all of a sudden you get addicted.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter, whatever you feel like it. I would say a good thing would be, and I have a hot yoga class, which is more similar to Bikram. So I would say hot yoga 3 days a week, Vinyasa 2. Or if you're a big Vinyasa person, 3 days a week, 2. Some people do Vinyasa every day. I think that 26-2 and the Barkan Hot Yoga class prepare you more as a foundation for the Vinyasa class, because we're not holding it as long, or we're not doing 2 sets. Welcome back to my home. So that concludes all the videos that we recorded at the Barkan Method Hot Yoga Workshop at Yoga Revive in New Jersey. By the way, next year we're going to be doing a level 1 at Yoga Revive in Marltown, New Jersey at the end of 2026. I put links in the description below. Any questions or comments, especially struggles that you have in some of these postures, put them down below. I'm happy to get back to you. Let me know if you enjoy this kind of format. And here's where I'm going to be coming up in January. January 17th, I'm doing a Barkan Method workshop in Delray at Hatha Yoga. January 23rd to the 25th, I'm back to Albuquerque, New Mexico with Melanie at Blissful Spirits. Would love to have you join us. And in February, I'm doing 2 level 2 trainings. So I put links in the description below. So that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell. Any questions or comments, like I said, I'm happy to get back to you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.